Hello everyone, my name is Ava. Welcome to my channel, Luna Vika Designs. It's honored to have you with me to make today's design hack, this elegant, beautiful Roman horseshoe bracelet. The design is derived from traditional horseshoe link, but I want to make something jazzy and different from generic look of a horseshoe link. So I made these two spots more angular and wrapped some beads on the bottom of each link after hammering it. Okay, let's get started. The materials needed for this project are 16 gauge wire. If you like a bit chunkier look, you can use 14 gauge, 26 gauge wire, and some beads. I'm using 3.5 coin and some 2.5 round beads. Or you can use like this one, the center one, orange one, that's a 3 milliliter round, and the two smaller one on each side is a 2 milliliter round, or the beads you prefer. The essential tools needed for this project are wrap and tap 3 steps bell shaping plier, 6 steps bell shaping plier, large flat nose plier. My larger flat nose plier, the width here is 6.2 milliliter. And my regular flat nose plier, and the width here is 3.5 milliliter. Nylon drop plier, flush cutter, wire rounder, bench block, and a tracing hammer. I'm going to make a bracelet 6.5 to 6.75 inches long, and I usually wear 7 inches long for bracelet, but for this design, I want it to be sitting on around my wrist perfectly, just like a watch belt. I made a prototype of the link. That's how it looks like. And the size of each link, point here to here, this 2 point, the distance end to end, it's about 17 milliliter, and I'm using 16 gauge wire. And the side straight line here, it's about 18 milliliter, identical, these two sides. And the hammer, this part. It requires 2.5 inches long for each link. And this length will give you a bit of room, so can help free from the tension when you manipulate this wire. I've cut some wires 16 gauge, 2.5 inches long each. And you can go for production line style. I'm a motion change person. I like to just each repeat step, I only want to do every few, and then I do next step. I think there are benefits for doing so. One, it's I feel less boring, and second, I can free from the hand tension by doing repeats all the time. And the last benefit, since I don't know exactly how many links I need for my lens, so I do gradually, so in case I don't want to cut too many wires that I don't need at the end. Let's make this link to begin with. It's kind of a U shape. I'm using my 3 steps, and the first step 13 milliliter, And I place my 2.5 inches long wire, find the middle, like this, and just bend along this 30 milliliter round shape, like this. You don't have to make it perfectly U-shape. I actually like to leave it a little open. And the whole purpose is to make this curve. Okay, next one. Same. Place like a middle of the wire and then just bend it like this. Try to make this two side, the length approximately same. Okay, and the third one. Like this. Now let's hammer this curvy part, become like this. And use my tracing hammer and just strike down and move away from you. You see, I also move around like this, so when you hammer it, it becomes more even here. I only hammer one side. So, and this is what we have. And then we use this prototype and to measure. I always like to make a prototype. I think it's easier than using ruler every single time. So I just push in a little bit to make it more U shape, like this, hold it firmly. And I use my marker to mark based on this prototype mark. I will show you in a minute what it's for, like this, and this side. Sure it's lined up like this. And don't lose it for now because we need to cut the excessive length of the wire. Make sure, before we cut it, make sure our mark is lined up to the prototype. Okay, so we need to cut this two excessive lengths off. And I'm using my flush cutter, this flat surface, as like a measurement. I like to use two as measurement all the time. So this flat surface, I place here against my prototype wire until I cannot move down, and then I cut it. And same this side, like this. And this is what we have. Now we need to make these two angles. And that's the mark it's for. So this is the prototype. Let's put aside. And we grab our large flat nose plier. You can use any flat nose plier. I just like it just to bend it because it gives me more strength. So I place my plier right next to this mark. Don't put it on because after you bend it, it will become shorter. So right next to it, on the right, and then bend it. This way, the bend is right on this mark. like this. And let's do the other side. Same. Put it right next to this mark and then bend it. So this is what we have. And then we bend back a little bit, both sides, bend back a little bit. And then I use my hands to pull it out a little bit. You see the angle already showing. Let's try one more. I pre-hammered here. Use a flat nose plier. Place it right next to this mark and bend it inwards. And the other side same. Bend it right next to this mark and bend it inwards. And then we bend back like this. And same on the other side like this. I want to open up a little more. Use my hand. When I use my hand, open up a little more and then tend to make this curve a little wider. That's what we want. And then I use my wire rounder to file the ends. You can use any files to do it. I just like this too. For this bracelet, we begin with the clasp, the eye of this clasp. It's exactly same as other links, just without wrapping any beads on. So I just use my 6 steps. The second step is 3 milliliter. And you can use any size. I like to do this way and just make a loop. And this side, make a loop. Okay. Then I use my nylon drop plier to make a little adjustment, make it more like this is slope, so you can hook on something like this. Now we need to go on, make a second link, and we wrap some beads on before we link to this eye of the clasp and before we loop it. And I'm using one of the 3.5 milliliter coin and the two of 2.5 milliliter round. I pre-strung on my 26 gauge wire, and we start from the middle of the bead. I do 4 wraps in between each bead. So I just anchor this way, anchor like a few times. I leave some tail, like about 2 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches tail to hold on to, and also to wrap this side of the round bead. And here we squeeze them together. We have 4 wraps already in between each piece. So the fifth wrap, I load my beads on and make sure this piece is in the center of this curved section. And then we start wrapping once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times. And we push in all these wraps tight and neat. I'm using my fingernails. So double check it's in the middle. Then the fifth below the 2.5 milliliter bead and hold it firmly and then start wrapping. Okay, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, like this. And double check this ruby bead still in the center. That's what we want. And then now I can cut off here, cut right below this wire so it would not show. Just right below it, like this. Use my regular flat nose plier and then just smoosh, smoosh. So, like this. And let's do the other side. Put the bead on, like this. And put it tightly here. Use your thumb to hold it firmly and start wrapping once, twice, third time, and the fourth time. Go behind here. So same, cut it off right below this wire here so it will not show. This. And smoosh like this. Easy, right? So make sure this is centered. I like to move a little bit so make it more centered. And now let's hook these two together. What I do is I go through this way and then I will open up here towards the inner and put it on and then close. And a lot of horseshoe link bracelet, you can go through both loops. But this design, since we have the beads wrapped on, we cannot go through. Unless you make the loop too very big enough to go through these beads. But I don't like the loop too big. So this is what I do. Hook that side, and then I use my regular flat nose plier, or you can use train nose plier. And here is the trick. You open it inner towards inner of the link, so away from you. If you go outwards towards to you, the direction, and it's extremely difficult to put it on, or almost impossible. I tried. So this is the way you put it on when you have the beads on. And then I will just put it on like this. See, this is already a little difficult. If you pull outwards, probably it's not working. That's and then we flip to the back and close out gently, gently, gently. You don't want to scratch your wire, especially if you are using precious metal. So we do gently, little by little. And then straighten it a little bit, adjust a little bit. this. Okay. This is what we have. I've made a couple of them follow the same steps explained earlier. And now I need a motion change. So let's hook another link. And I flip over and make a loop with my 3 milliliter step. Like this. Okay. And then do the same for the other side. Like this. See? You use a nylon drop plier to adjust a little bit. Then I do the same, go through one side of the loop. And you can go either way. You can go this side or you can do this side. Either way, wherever you like. And I'm just like to do left side first because I'm right-handed, I guess. That's the reason. And then open up this loop, inner towards to the link, like this. And put it on. And then gently close it out. Slowly, step by step, no rush. This. Okay. Need to close out more. Here. Okay. And we can adjust speed a little bit. So you can just keep going and follow all the steps to reach the length desired. Then I will show you how to make the final step, a clasp. And make sure, for example, I'm making 6.5 to 6.75 inches long end to end, the whole bracelet. And so leave a little room, about ½ inch to 3¼ inch. That's for this final one, which is the hook of the clasp. I made mine about 6 inches long. And now let's get ready to make this clasp. And it's the same look of the link. It will be blend into the whole bracelet better. I cut a piece of wire about 3.5 inches long. And I come in my wrap and tap 3 steps. And for this hook, I use second step, which is 16 milliliter. I place it in the middle like this and make a band. The reason why I will use a little bit bigger size is because of the shape of the hook. And also this time we want it to be closer like this. I will explain in a minute. So see the shape of this hook. You bend it over. It's not like opened like other horseshoe link. because of this bend over like a 90-degree, and it tends to shrink. So I use a little bit bigger size, but since my mandrel 60 milliliter, it's 3 milliliter larger than this link. All this link is 30 milliliter. So I bend it closer than the regular U shape, tend to make a here smaller. If you have a mandrel about 14 to 50 milliliter, it could be just the size you want after you bend it. You don't need to do this trick. I don't have it, so I haven't tried. You can try. Now let's hammer this curvy section just like when we make the horseshoe link earlier. And same, we use our prototype. And I want to bend out a little bit. This is both sides. And hold it firmly. And use the marker. Mark here. And mark here. Remember, these 2 points are for bending. And this time we don't cut off the excessive wire. We need it for weaving to make the hook. And same, I place my flat nose plier right next to this mark. And this time I need to bend it 90 degree completely, 90 degree, like this. And we need to bend up at this. What I do is same. I made another prototype. I will place here to mark exactly where I need to bend up. So it's right here, this line, like this. Okay, so I follow this mark. And now another trick. Usually we put this flat nose plier right next to the mark and then bend. So because we want this point, it's right at the bend point. But for this one, since we need to do some weaving, so these 2 wires in between, we need to leave some room for our weaving wires. So what I do is I place my flat nose plier right on this mark because I want a little bit shorter on this end. Then I can have a little room in between of these wires after I bend straight up. So I will show you what I mean. And I need to borrow my nylon drop plier and do this job like this. Okay. Right on this mark and bend up. Okay. Now I can use my hand. This. Don't worry about the shape. We can adjust it. And here, same. We back to put the flat nose right next to this mark because we want this to be exact bend point. So then 90-degree. Okay. And same here. Use my prototype. Put it here. And make a little mark right here. Like this. So you can see it. And then and place my, it's very difficult to use the large one, and I switch to my small one and put right on this mark and bend straight up like this. Hold it firmly up on the bottom. Okay, so now I can use my big one to give me some strength, better strength. This is what I try to say. That's why we place the flat nose right on that mark, so we can get a little room in between these two wires. Now let's hammer a little bit to get a better shape and work harden. So for this curve section, like a half round shape, and you can make it a little bit flatter, so look more like other horseshoe link, like this. And for this two straight up wire, I also would slightly hammer it. And except for work harden, and also it's because after you weave, and it will be less slippery. And we make a little adjustment, make it like a 90-degree straight, very straight, before we weave. Okay, let's check if a similar size. See, almost identical. I'm going to wrap some beads on the bottom here, and it's the same steps as other horseshoe link. And I will be back and show you the weaving on this section. I'm going to use a 26 gauge wire to wrap this section, the hook section. And I'm going to work off the spool and just leave a little tail here and hold on to. Let's secure a couple of times like this. The pattern, it's just a regular diagonal weaving style, and there are a lot of YouTube tutorials you can take a look. So let's do, after secure, and let's wrap up both together and go in between these two wires and go once the top wire and all the way go down, and then wrap the bottom one and go in between like this, and then wrap both together once and go in between and wrap the top one once, and then go all the way from the bottom and go over the bottom wire and go in between and wrap once. One more time, wrap both and go in between, come up, wrap the top wire once and go all the way from the bottom and go over and go in between, wrap the bottom wire once. So this is the basic pattern. So we just keep going. You see, when you have a little room in between these two wires and make the weaving, it's just much easier. And also the hammer will make this pattern less slippery. And we just keep going and make sure nice and neat and squeeze together. And okay, when we weave about, this is like a 8 milliliter around, and we want to make the hook first before we go further, because after you curve here and the weaving will, then you weave, it looks nicer. If you keep going all the way straight, then you make the loop, and each weave will tends to be like have a larger distance and showing your base wire. I want my hook like facing down, opposite to the bees. So I use my nylon drop plier and I place here, hold it firmly on the bottom with the bees, and I bend like about 45 degrees, like this. And then I want my hook that's small. I use a 3 milliliter needle to help me. And I place it here and I gently just bend it. It's like making a loop. Gently do it little by little, like this. We can leave the shape like this for now because it's easier to continuously weave until we finish. And see here, because I bend it first, then we weave, and the distance in between the pattern and will tend to be smaller, which is what I prefer. So we keep going the weaving pattern, diagonal weave, and make sure put it squeeze down and then make it as tight as possible and then neat as possible too. So like this. When I reach the length is parallel to this side, I can stop. I push down a little bit, double check. Yeah. I will just wrap 2 or 3 times to secure my wire like this. Then I can cut it off. Like this. And then just smoosh. And we also can cut off this one, the tail. and smoosh down. And this little cute hook we have, make sure keep it tight. And we cut off the excessive wire here, leave a little bit tail. I would say 1/8 around. So we cut it. Another one at a time. Or if you have a stronger cutter, you can cut both together. But I like to cut one off first, and then I use my cutter to against this one to measure the other one to cut it off, so I can get it even end like this. Then I will use my flat nose plier and place it on the end. Make a little bend up a little bit. Side, bend up a little bit. Try to make it even. And I'm going to file it off the camera, and we'll be back. Okay, let's hook up our little cute hook clasp. We need to make both loops first because we have no room that can go through. And now we just open it. Make sure open inner towards the link. I do one at a time, like this. And then bring back like this. Same this side, inner like this. And put it on. A little tricky here. Slowly bring it back. Close out. See how pretty it is. And here, I want to push down a little bit with my hands. I use my thumb, press here, and push down a little bit. You can use some tool, chain nose plier, and then push down to help you. I just use a hand. And then tried it. It's pretty easy to hook on, actually. And since we file the ends and it actually doesn't scratch your skin, or very comfortable. See, this is the result I like. It's like a watch belt, just perfectly see around your wrist without any like a loose regular bracelet like that, because I think that this style matches this kind of tightness, or whatever you call it. We made it. Thank you for watching today's design hack. I hope you like this Roman horseshoe bracelet. I also hope that my video brings you beauty, joy, and inspiration. Let's hit subscribe to grow the community together. Feel free to like and share the video. Leave a comment if any. I really appreciate your time and support. Thank you so much. See you next time.